this point of someone that wants to see an overview of the story, some of the highlights of the story to see if I want to go back and delve into it. And these two women know the story well. And to give an overview of the story, here's a little news excerpt from ETV, I think it's ETV, that kind of covers everything. And then we'll go back and forth between Moochie and Mo to see how they feel about what's going on. Take a look.
This is my third time crying. And I cried the other day.
I will smoke when I smoke, and I will liquor when I liquor.
Wendy, would you want to go to the Oscars?
What's Oscars?
In the documentary, it was revealed that she has dementia.
So I think they said it was alcohol-induced dementia.
What did you see while you were shooting?
It was a complex and sensitive journey because we did not know when we started that she had dementia. And we were deeply concerned as we filmed.
I'm real makeup. Look, even when I do this, do you see a thigh gap?
It was illuminating watching this, and that you say, well, what in the hell's going on with guardianships?
That's the thing that's interesting to us, is that a legal guardianship is in place, but there didn't seem to be a lot of guardianing. And so this is the reality of a time span.
Did you want to wear your Chanel sweater, or are you talking about your Chanel jewelry?
Please, go away.
And we know it's not easy for a lot of people to watch, but once we were in it, we felt like we were more scared about what would happen if we stopped filming than if we continued.
Can you please come? Please.
And at the end, the Guardian did arrange to take her to a facility to get help.
Just one day before Lifetime premiered Where is Wendy Williams, the talk show host's care team released a statement on her behalf, thanking fans for their overwhelming support. Wendy's been in a wellness facility that specializes in cognitive issues since last April. With the spotlight on the star's health, the question is, were there warning signs?
Do you want to stop?
And we don't need them to tell us that. Moochie, I'm gonna start with you. Now, I used to pick on Wendy Williams, and I'm not gonna pick on her. All I'm gonna say is this: I know what Wendy Williams used to do with entertainment and being on TV, breaking news. I felt like she was outcrying for help with almost a body dysmorphia type complex because she kept doing all this work to herself. And sometimes I feel like when people continuously keep getting work done, such as Little Kim, Tiny, it's almost like there is a complex that they feel like they're just not beautiful enough. They can't achieve beauty. And that's something that you need to get evaluated for. So having said that, Moochie, give me your assessment of what has gone on with Wendy Williams and where she's at now.
Okay, Lamar, we've been covering Wendy Williams for a long time. I want to say since I met you, we've done little segments on her because she's been in the news. Yeah, we talked about the last thing. We talked about the whole thing with Tabitha, how she said those comments about Tabitha. And we had the this was hard to watch. I'm trying to get my words together. That it was hard to watch because she don't have good people around her.
Okay.
She don't have good people around her. And it's like people that's being basically yes men because she's still holding the purse strings. And she shouldn't even be able to. I wouldn't even let, if you her assistant, how you letting her walk around with these shorts on? How you going to get her vape pens? So if you're going to get vape pens and we watching you walk inside, what makes you think that you're not buying alcohol now? You buying alcohol for her too. So you buying the vape pens, you buying the alcohol. You buying the alcohol, you buying the cocoa. So you basically are being you're enabling her. You're enabling her, and it's really messed up. She's not in her right frame of mind. She's away from her family. I feel like they trying to blame this on the son, but I blame Kevin Sr. for all of this because I believe he was going. I'll go even a step further. He's a senior, but they blamed it on the junior. I believe this man was going there acting like they were still together because her mind is not all there. And once she get doped up, they probably got her signing all sorts of things. That's why he's messed up right now, and he needs to stay messed up. He actually opened his mouth to say something yesterday.
What'd he say?
He was saying something like the sister was taking money. No, you was taking money, my nigga. You was taking money.
He was?
Yes, he was. He had to be. He had to be. He had to be. He was taking money from when they was married and making a little nest egg. But they blew through it. They blew through it. What you get when you get somebody that's selfish and you leave somebody that was holding you down and taking care of you and provided a lane for you. She provided a lane for him. Look, okay, you be my manager. So that way I know who's coming at me. Look, as soon as he left, look at how the vultures came for her. It's messed up.
Wow. Mo, let me get you in here. Now, I'm still the perspective of someone who hasn't watched the documentary, but just picking up on tidbits from what you and Moochie is saying. My first impulse was, who's enabling her? Because in just what we just saw, the producer said that there is a conservator, someone who is responsible for making financial decisions and taking care of her. Right? It's not Wendy's responsibility no more to take care of herself and her money. Somebody else is supposed to be in charge of that. So what Moochie said is valid, that people are enabling her, but I don't see why anyone should be scared of Wendy, because it's not in her control how her money is handled. It's in control of whoever is the conservative person and the court. Having said that, shouldn't better decisions be made that should be the decisions that are right for Wendy and not what Wendy wants?
Well, the issue when you bring up that aspect is, and I don't know the details, her niece was actually on The View, I think last Thursday or Friday, and she tried to explain it. I'll probably just send you the clip so you can see it for yourself.
Okay.
He said a whole lot of nothing, but basically what I got from it is, I don't know who the puppet master is, but the family desperately wants to be involved. And I think they should be involved. I don't know who is the powers that be that are trying to X out the family. I think her family, I'm talking about her brother, her niece, her aunt, they have her best interest at heart, and they should be the ones that are in charge of this. I don't know what happened behind the scenes and how they got X'd out. It's a little alarming. Now I'll say this, I only watched the first hour, and I had to take a pause because, like Moochie said, it was very hard to watch. I'm a person where I can take my emotions and feelings out of things. Wendy Williams is still a human being. And whether you like her or not, I don't think any decent human being could watch that and not feel some type of empathy or sympathy for her. This is someone who is going through something and is not well. She's not the same Wendy Williams that we once knew. Something is cognitively wrong with her. She's got multiple medical issues, definitely, altogether.
Well, they said she got dementia, and I didn't even know you could get alcohol-induced dementia.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Yes. It's not shocking when you think about it, because alcohol can be pretty potent to the human body, but I didn't know that firsthand. I didn't know that. But if you are a fan of hers, or even if you're not, and you've been watching her the last 5 years, something has been going on.
Right.
I think they've tried to clean it up. Even years ago when she fainted on her show, that wasn't just, she tried to say it was like overheating of the costume. No, I knew from then something was wrong. And then the couple years following that, you could tell cognitively she wasn't as sharp as she used to be. She was becoming very forgetful. You could tell something was off with her. Nonetheless, the documentary, like I said, I only watched the first hour. It was very hard to watch. I agree with Moochie. I think she has yes men around her. I'm not saying everyone's a yes man, but she definitely has people around her that I think are completely enabling her. The manager, there's something about him that's a little off to me. In his confessional, one of the producers asked him if he's concerned for Wendy or worried about her. And it was like he was very apprehensive to say yes. It was like he was just, I don't know. His response was very off to me. Very, very off. I'm not saying he doesn't care about her.
Both of their responses.
You can care about someone and still enable them. So I'm not going to say he doesn't care about her, but he's definitely an enabler. And just seeing how her personality shift, you can tell cognitively she's not right. She's very angry, which is a part of dementia. She's very angry. She lashes out. She curses people out. She name calls. She's actually verbally abusive to her staff, which is uncomfortable to watch.
Now, sometimes, that can be dementia.
Yeah,
that is part of dementia.
That's part of dementia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I can speak to that because I just lost my grandmother who raised me, and she was flipping out on everybody. The one person she never flipped out on was me and Elle.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what it was about us two. Even my wife, but even her own daughter, my mom. But me and Elle, it was always like, because dementia has its waves. And folks, if you're mad that this has turned into something about dementia, we're just talking about the scope of what Wendy and the people surrounding Wendy are having to deal with.
It's connected. It's all connected.
And Moochie has had to take care of some people in her family. I'm not going to say who, but Moochie's had the caregiver experience and trying to deal with someone who is, I guess the best way to say, I don't want to say you're superior, but the person that raised you.
Yeah, an elder, someone,
Right. And now you're having to try to tell them what's best for them. Sometimes it can be off-putting, even if they're in their right state of mind.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say, Moochie? Has that been some of your?
It's hard.
It's very hard. It's very hard
because they're not understanding what's going on with them.
Yeah.
And they're trying to understand what's going on. They apologize. But, sometimes you might get a mean streak with them because they're frustrated. And I get it.
Yeah.
And you just got to try to stay calm with them. And that's the hard part.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a full breakdown and review of the Wendy documentary is going to go on with Moochie, Momo, and Nita the Diva at 7 p.m. tonight. But I do have one more person who has talked about the documentary that we're going to bring on board. Is your favorite, Lex the Targaryen, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, let me mention she's about to go on tour, and you see that cash out with her name. Don't be afraid to tip that thing to help a sister as she's going to go on tour. She's going to be hitting LA. She's about to go South by Southwest. I think one of her tour spots is going to be where I've got a film that's going to be premiering. So help a sister out and let this girl do her thing thizzle with her singing. Now, Lex, I know you've heard what we've been saying about Wendy. And this is a question I want you to respond to first, and then I want to get Momo and Moochie to reply. Because in the trailer we just watched, they said something that I thought was kind of like entertainment speak. They said that they felt like they should keep filming the documentary because they was afraid that if they didn't, it would limit the help that Wendy would get. I call BS on that. Because at the end of the day, you filmed this documentary and you're highlighting to other people what's going on in her house. But who is going to force someone in her house to step up? Now, check me, Lex, if you think I'm wrong, but I just feel like that was said so that they can feel like they're empathetic. But at the end of the day, they know that this shit was going to sell tickets. How do you feel about that?
I personally feel like everybody that's around her right now, minus her family, like the manager, especially the guy, I'm a spirit reader. I've been like that since I was a child. My great grandmother used to always say, like, always keep that. Like, that is a gift straight from God. I don't take his spirit. I think he is a scammer. I think he's a shyster. I think he is an opportunist. I think he wants her money. I think he knows that she's vulnerable. Like something as corny as, did you drink this whole bottle today? You made sure to say that shit. Oops, sorry. You made sure to say that when the cameras was right there. Like his whole persona, like there's something severely wrong. As well as the assistant, the one that she called the black one, is something wrong with her too. I can't think of what her name is, but it's absolutely ridiculous is what it is. Everybody that's around her, minus her family. I do not think that her son was a problem. I do not think that her sister was a problem. A lot of people are trying to jump down Kevin's throat because it's like, oh, he spent this amount of money on Uber Eats or whatever. This is not your mama. You don't know how that boy was raised. And you don't have a right to just say, oh, halt. Now you don't, he's used to a certain type of lifestyle because that is what his mother provided for him. Mm-hmm. When she kicked the bucket, that is his money. It's not Big Kevin's.
Right.
And his little strumpet and a little bastard baby. It's not theirs. Like, we're not pulling no punches. This man literally had this woman have a mental breakdown. And no, yes, drugs and everything played a part of it. But me being a woman first, like, I don't know if y'all in the chat, fill me up in the chat if you've went through a breakthrough that really have you out here feeling like you've lost your mind. It's not okay. It's not okay at all. I grew up. I was 29. I'm 29 in the anniversary. So I grew up listening to Wendy. You feel me? I grew, like, literally my mama picking me up from school. This is how I know I've been around for Charlamagne the God's whole career. I remember being a little girl in elementary. I'm talking about under 5th grade. And Charlamagne was her intern. Yes, this is how you got to look about Wendy for me. I was
I was like you was in the back of my car on my bus.
Wendy, first grade. First grade is the earliest I can remember hearing Wendy.
Yeah.
First grade. I'm 30. I'm 29 in the anniversary. Excuse me. We're not letting that word come out.
No, you don't be ashamed of your 30s, ma'am.
Girl, don't be ashamed of no 30s.
Oh, no, I'm not ashamed. I'm 30 and fine, but technically I am 29 with an anniversary. You feel me? So
okay.
I'm glad you brought that up because I before we close on this topic, I do want to say for me, I know Wendy is controversial, but that's what she's supposed to be. That was her job. You know, I hate when I hear people say, "Oh, this is her karma." Really, you guys, this is her karma for doing her job. Like, whether you like her or not, I don't think it's fair to say this is her karma. I just think this is all sad and unfortunate. And again, you have to give people their flowers, whether you like her or not. She was a legend. She was an icon. She did open up the door for a lot of the youngins to come in after her, to be the controversial YouTuber, to be the controversial podcast host, to, you know what I'm saying? Like when Joanne Rivers died, did people say that was her karma? You know what I mean? And she was just as lethal as Wendy Williams. So it's just, you know, I hope that we can remember her legacy and give her flowers. Did I always agree with her? No. But I always had respect for what she did in the lane that she opened up for other Black women and men, but a lot of Black women to follow that same pattern as her. There will never be another Wendy Williams. I don't care.
How you doing?
There will never be another one of her.
So, Moochie, I'll give you the last word on this. And a lot of what Monique said is why I started out this thing by saying I normally would have jokes on Wendy, but I don't, because I'm a human being. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to see nobody going through what she's going through. Me personally, some of y'all know my beliefs about religion. I don't believe in karma, none of that bull jive. However, I will say this about Wendy. She was Black TMZ before we had a TMZ for Black folk. And even though she pissed off some people, she brought real truth about a lot of things that was in the dark that we are now praising. Like Cat Williams bringing stuff out, Monique bringing stuff out. Wendy was been telling folks about how some of these things was going on in these parties. And because of that, a lot of men try to shut her up. So having said that, Moochie, whatever you have left to say about her, the floor is yours, and we move on after you say what you got to say.
I feel like they knew that a decline was coming. Kevin, her husband, was her proxy, her medical proxy. That's what put her in that sober living place.
Yeah.
But he did it for ulterior motives. And he seemed like, to me, if it wasn't for him, her weakness wouldn't have been exposed like how it was, because he made her basically have a breakdown in front of everybody over her relationship. This is a 20-year marriage she went through. That's traumatizing to somebody, especially you're being embarrassed in front of the world the way you've embarrassed people. And I don't say it's karma, but I have said that before with her, and I said that when she said the comment about Tabitha.
So I mean, but you know, Moochie, with like people who do what she
I just told you, watch what was going to happen. You remember me saying that? I
remember that. But with people that do what she does, you're gonna have these type of things happen. Like you're gonna have. She's gonna polarize some people one group of people one week, then another week she's gonna polarize others because she shed lights on various different things. So you definitely gonna have that with some. Like she's not the modern day Wendy by no means. Right. But someone who's very polarizing right now, and I used to pick on this person, they helped me out. I haven't heard from them since. I used to say she always sounds like a high-pitched, oh God, what is her name? She used to be down with Lovely T, and now she's doing her own thing. She's gotten into it back and forth with Kevin Hart and some other big names.
I'm going to forget.
Yeah, I forgot her name.
The one that has the lawsuit.
Tasha K. Tasha K.
I was mumbling it to you. I was like,
yeah, Tasha K. Tasha K. She's polarizing just like this.
Yeah.
Just like this. And at the end of the day, we still got to remember that they are human beings. And that even though they might polarize one group, if they're shedding real deal truth that has caused somebody harm, you at least got to give that part of what their career was a little bit of sunshine, a little bit.
Yeah. I just feel like, you know how you be saying something like, watch what's going to happen? I didn't think it was going to get this bad.
I told you.
I didn't think it was going to get this bad. I told you. Like this, like you know how you, it's just messed up.
It's sad.
It's messed up.
It is.
And it's like she has nobody around her right now that loves her, like that genuinely loves her.
No, and that's right. That's like I think deep down on the inside of everybody who is trying to be in a relationship, one of your biggest fears is that you wake up old one day and you're in Wendy's situation. There's nobody there to love you and help you out. Not just love you and help you, but someone that is having your best interests forward. You know what I'm saying? Like not the husband or spouse that the doctor's saying, well, you're going to die. And the spouse has a big life insurance policy and says, well, let's go ahead and kill her tomorrow. You know, not that person, but someone who's like, let's put her in palliative care, make her as comfortable as possible, and let's uplift her life as best we can going down the road. You know, that's what a lot of people are looking for, so.
People
go ahead, Lex.
As bad as I feel for Wendy, just like people watching this who have not been in that situation, or who, you also, in every downfall, you got to acknowledge your hand. As much as we don't want to say that, we do. And having him have a jump off for 15 years, you kind of walked yourself into getting your funds Brazilian waxed straight out.
True.
You literally let that man have a hair that you knew about for years, and the deal breaker was the baby. Let me tell you something. As a Jersey girl, I'm disappointed in her, because we get right. I would have punched Kevin dead in his face and told him, get out. Because what are you here for? Because he's her manager? Because,
I tell you what.
Because it's comfortable.
I think she just, like, to me, she should have been got rid of him.
That part, because at the end of the day, she played a part in her own demise. Does she deserve what's happening? Absolutely not. But she single-handedly played a part in her own demise. Y'all remember the game Life, where you pick up the cards and
choices you made.
Add a baby to the card, or do you want to go to school, or do you want to do this? Nobody knows what that last door looks like. But you could be for damn sure you getting signs every left and right that you taking. You ignore them signs, that's on you. And that's what she did. She ignored the signs, and it's horrible. It's horrible. There's no replacement for Wendy. Sherry Shepherd is trash. Like the closest. I'm not pulling no punches. I'm not.
Wait a minute, y'all.
That came out of nowhere.
This to let y'all miss right. Not only has she done got her damn audio fixed, but this chick come up here flaming fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Because it's a fact. Who grandmama house have you walked in and who girl Sherry on? Nobody cares about Sherry Shepherd, and it's nothing against her personally. As an individual, I think she's a great woman. I think she's a great entertainer, but she's not Wendy. If you're gonna put somebody in Wendy's spot, you better make sure it's. And
that's
she's
why
not.
she's a trailblazer. There's never gonna be another Wendy Williams.
The closest we gonna get to Wendy Williams to keep it a stack, and people may not like it, is Tasha K.
Yeah,
that's the closest we gonna get to Wendy.
I agree, and I think she's being groomed, y'all. So that's my opinion on that.
Should they give Tasha K should they give the job to Tasha K?
That's the closest they gonna get. But you know what? I don't even want Tasha K to go into that. She got her own network. She got her own platform. Do you? And that's the thing. People, you got to stop depending on no funny. Yeah, because if here's the thing. If you could get it on your own, don't go into the corporation. Granted, everybody gonna need that little reach out hand. But at the end of the day, Tasha, all that money she getting is going to her and her employees. All that money, Wendy, you got to pay people. You got NBC. You got the big. You still got the big guy.
And she's still trying to get down with them, but she don't know what she's doing. And I was pissed off with that whole thing, man.
It's over for Wendy and her manager. This is why I said I don't respect him. You talking about we gonna get her a podcast? She's slurring every other word. What are you talking about?
She got on the manager got on my nerve. The guy in the red, he really got on my nerve, and she made me so mad. This little assistant. You could tell she lying to. Oh no, I don't think she has a problem.
Yeah, that was weird to me. Like I don't understand how they're saying that. Like
they kept it on them, expose those people.
He said the same thing. Oh, I don't think she has a problem. I don't want to say that she has a problem.
Call a spade a spade. This is why nobody is respecting it. And y'all doing what y'all doing, and y'all took her over to California. That had made the news before. Wendy out here, she don't know what's going on. Think about the last couple episodes of the Wendy Williams show. Like, hello, she's sitting there. I want to whisper in your ear. She don't listen. The Wendy that we knew is just like Unique. It's over. Hang it up. Flat screen. It's not coming back. She's not coming back. Like
that. Baby Unique up in this thing.
It's over. We still love Neek just like we love Wendy, but we all know when you use common sense, he's not coming back the same.
No,
he's never going back on TV hitting us with the how you do. It's over.
It's over.
Every reign comes to an end. But the saddest part is she didn't get the bow out gracefully. Barbara Walters got the bow out gracefully. Yep. We ain't hear nothing about Barbara Walters until after she died. And don't get it twisted. That little old lady was with the 1-2s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They drag her. Ain't nobody say, oh, did it? We did not know anything. Now, granted, y'all could be trying to make this a public matter, but what you want us to do? Sign a petition, start a GoFundMe for Wendy? The hell you want us to do?
Right. That's all I was saying. So yeah, y'all want more of this spice in your life. Be sure to catch Moochie, Mo, Nita, and they need to invite Lex to come on that live stream they doing tonight at 7 p.m. Because boy, I might have to send some coins to that shit because that thing is going to be amazing. So let us keep this thing going, ladies and gentlemen, at the request of some of my subscribers, because I listen to y'all. Someone said, Lamont, when are you going to finally do your Black History report? It's Black History Month. And I said, baby, I celebrate Black history every day. Okay, so you ain't even got to ask me when I'm going to get to it because I celebrate Blackness every day. However, since you want me to be detailed and put something up here in a show, I got you. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you 2 facts. And they're 2 videos from creators I follow on TikTok. The first one you're going to see is quotes that we don't hear much from Martin Luther King because they whitewashed them. Okay, if you all can remember from history, when you was in school, they never told you how much they really hated Martin Luther King. I would beg to contend The only reason Martin Luther King, well, I ain't gonna say the only reason, I'm gonna say one reason he got elevated to this peaceful man status is because of his brother Malcolm X, who was over there saying, damn them white devils to hell, any means necessary. And instead of using that type of language, Martin tried to use peace and all that, but he was really inciting violence on Black people. Okay. There are a lot of quotes that they never share in school that he stood for. He was anti-capitalism as we know it, which your boy is always talking about. That's a problem. And some other things. So we're going to see a video talking about his quotes that you don't get to hear and a quiz on Black history facts that you might not have known. Take a look at this and then we'll break it down.
So has anyone else noticed the intense amount of whitewashing that happens during MLK Day? Like, the only quotes from him that you'll see in the mainstream or on social media are the ones that are super positive, super optimistic, and don't mention anything about race or class or any of the other things MLK commented on and fought for. That being said, I just wanted to share some non-whitewashed MLK quotes. This first one comes from his letters from Birmingham jail. The Negro's great stumbling block in his stride toward freedom is not the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods of direct action.
You answer these 6 Black history questions. Who was the first African American to play in an NBA game? C. Earl Lloyd, who was the first Black female millionaire? B. Madam C.J. Walker, who started the Chicago Defender magazine in 1905? C. Robert Abbott, who was behind the assassination of MLK? B. James Earl Ray. Which industry was the first Black patent in? A. Dry cleaning. How many gold medals did Jesse Owens win? B. 4.
I got them all right.
So we'll start with Monique Nicole, who came in second. Impart any of your wisdom about any of the things we just saw from Black history, whether it's MLK, whether it's those facts, anything you just saw, you want to expand upon it for Black history purposes. Talk to us about it.
Well, when they said who was behind the assassination of MLK, I yelled out the government. But
well, I can agree with that.
It's true.
like damn it, that's true. He was just the conduit. You know what I'm saying?
The government, but he's the patsy.
The government.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. It wasn't. You could have scribbled in option C.
But no, I agree with the sentiments of the TikToker as far as MLK. A lot of his stuff being whitewashed, and I just, I don't know. When it comes to that stuff, it's a little exhausting for me. We'll have to save that topic for another day, but yeah, especially now with just how things are going in Florida and them trying to take out Black history from school and things like that. It's just very frustrating. And I had like an epiphany the other day. Not even epiphany, but just I had a moment of reflection, and I just sat back and I was just like, wow, like the amount of disrespect that Black people receive. Like, being Black in America is literally like the definition of like being gaslighted like every single day. Like we are gaslighted every day, all year. I mean, it's like, it's wild when you look at our history and we see, I'm not going to say the name, but we see other, I can't even say minorities. We see other, what's the word? We see other groups. We see other groups of people fighting for their rights and fighting for their justice and fighting for, you can't mumble a word about a certain group without being labeled certain things. But our people, we receive so much disrespect. You know what I mean? You can even take Black Lives Matter. Like, we had to defend ourselves against why Black Lives Matter is important and meaningful. Like, all you have to do is like look at history. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we have to fight so hard to be seen, to be heard, to be respected, to be treated fairly. And it's a little it can become a little disheartening. You know, I'm frustrated today. I can't imagine what leaders of the civil rights era had to deal with. It's very humbling, you know what I mean, to see what they dealt with back then. And don't get me wrong, we've come a long way. We have, but it's just unfortunate that we're still fighting for the same things that we did 20, 30, 40 years ago. But you know what? It's all good. Black Lives Matter. And like you, I celebrate Black history all year round. So
daily. Moochie, talk to us a little bit about how you feel about it. You've been in a situation in New York where you was in a public arena to work. So you got a chance to see all kinds of people, all kinds of ways to support us. And what does Black history mean to you?
That's deep.
Right now, what it means to me, they need to look at our history needs to really be put out there, so the younger people can know what's going on, where they stop fighting amongst themselves. So that's what it means to me. I want to know when we're actually going to be recognized, because it just seems like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. The more I look at it, it just doesn't even look good right now, the way everything's going. It's like, wow, they're not even hiding it anymore at this point. They're not even hiding it anymore that they see us as a threat. So they want to keep us separated. They're not even hiding anymore that they know that what it is right now. So it's just like,
well, we can thank Trump for that.
I would tell you, Moochie, keep your head up. And sometimes you do have to turn off the politics. Even me being someone who's comfortable with self, versed with debating people in politics, I have to turn it off sometimes, because it is frustrating that Black people in particular, as strong as we are as Black people, I am willing to say that Black women have had it worse. Amongst us being on the bottom, they have been on the bottom. And I think that Black women scare white people. And when I say white people, for the white people that are watching, I'm not talking about you guys that support us, have our back, believe in justice, equality, things being as fair as humans can make. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the dejectors, the one who Martin Luther King just eloquently spoke about. The moderate white person who would, rather than confront what's uncomfortable, just stay comfortable. Those people. That's what I'm talking about. And the ones to the far left. But having said that, what does Black history mean for you, Lex the Targaryen, who is on a tour for music, ladies and gentlemen, so she can flex her Black history that she's making on her own as an artist? Tap that Cash App that has her name in it right there, so that she can take this world journey and see Black history all across the nation and sing to it.
Yeah, Black history is in the making. Like, if it wasn't for the people who came before me, how am I going to Texas to perform? How am I going anywhere in the South? It wouldn't happen, But I just think that with Black history, people tend to focus on the negative. You know what I mean? Like slavery and segregation, and which you should never forget that. But there's so many more positive things that happens. Like, I feel like because Black history still has to be uncovered. We don't know a lot. Like slavery, when you really think about it, slavery really wasn't that long ago. Like
No,
it's gonna
not at
seem
all.
long ago. Like my niece is 10, like when she's a great grandmother, okay, then slavery is going to seem like it was a bit ago, like, wow, the 1800s, because they're going to be deep into the 2000s, you know what I mean? But those of us that was born 90s, 80s, 70s, like count back, it's not that far. So it's a lot of stuff that we do not know. There's a lot of stuff that will come out. There are sealed documents that will come out. Truth comes with time, you know? And I feel like it needs to be celebrated. Like everybody that was kind of in an uproar about Beyonce, like she's coming out with a country album. How dare she? How dare she connect to her roots? Because Black people created country music. Tell me more. But they don't know that because that's the history that's not taught. Y'all just focused on slaves and segregation and you know, we grew up knowing, okay, a Black person created the light and Madam C.J. Walker and the Peanut Dude, George Washington Carver. But what else? What else? You gonna tell them how slaves built the White House? You gonna
No,
tell
they can't tell you that. They can't tell you that, Lex.
Yeah,
they can't tell you that.
Like it's gonna seem like, oh my God, Black people really did build America. Wait, so we're entitled and we really did nothing? Well, goddamn, why are we? What are we here for? We've been wondering the same thing for centuries. We've been wondering.
We've been wondering.
I feel like I said, Black history is every day that you take a breath because we're learning something new. Shout out to my man, Chris Brown, who just made Black history the only person of the 21st century to chart for all those years. The only person in the 21st century to chart consecutively for his whole career. But y'all ain't gonna talk about that. Y'all want to focus on the negatives about.
They want to talk about him not being playing the All-Star.
Over any Caucasian artist, over any Hispanic artist, over any Asian artist, baby. He is the only artist to do it. Get that man some claps, okay?
Oh Lord,
have mercy. Out here making her country music and is actually letting people know. I mean, she's not because she barely talk, but because of her actions, the conversation is starting. Country music, y'all must have forgot Cadillac Records. Y'all must have forgot Muddy Waters. Y'all must have forgot Howlin' Wolf. All of that country music started from sharecropping, baby. So once again, Black history is more than just what they tell you. Jump down the rabbit hole of Google. Jump down the rabbit hole of YouTube. Get to know your people, because at the end of the day, Black Americans, we have our own history. People want to group us into African Americans and listen, you can identify with whatever you identify with. I am a Black American. And as a Black American, we have our own history. Get to know it.
Okay. All right. Well said. So folks, let us know what are your Black history moments and what history you have made, as Lex Targaryen has said. Now we're going to move on to someone who I really don't care for that much either, who got into a little bit of a fight. And I'm talking about Cameron Newton, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to take us down some more roots of division. How can Black people do better? It's going to take you down that road a little bit. But let me show you the video to see what people think. And I can't wait to hear what they got to say about this, because I do got my own thoughts, but I'm going to let them go first. Take a look at this fight that broke out at his 7-on-7 camp in Atlanta, a camp that he puts on, mind you. Take a look. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the fight. And this is a clip of what happened. Now, I'm going to read to you the latest updates, and we'll let Lex go first on this one. Everybody's had a chance to go first. I'm going to read to you what it says. An anonymous parent came in and said, where's her? Let me see here. Is that the right clip? Nope, that's the wrong clip. Where's my Cam Newton clip? Oh, here it is. Anonymous parent came in and said, Sunday confirmed to Fox News Digital that Newton had been taunting those on the field. Steph went to confront Newton after the game to talk about what was being said, which is when things began to escalate. TJ was just walking up to the long staircase when video showed Newton grabbing Steph by the jacket after they were face-to-face trading words. TJ jumped in, throwing a punch at Newton before the latter grabbed him, and the fight moved toward the fence. If you're walking up a flight of stairs and you see 6'6" guy grab your little brother trying to throw him down some stairs, you're going to intervene, TJ said. It doesn't matter who you are, whether it be a punch, whether it be a push, whether it be grabbing him. You're going to do something. So at that point, with Cam putting his hands on another grown man, something is going to come behind that. If you ask anybody about me, I'm not confrontational. I'm not loud. I don't get mad. As people say, I don't argue with people. I don't fight. I don't do none of the crazy stuff. That's about me. So Lex, now that you have a little bit more context to what happened, what do you think about this Cam Newton fight?
I think it's funny because who's stupid enough to run up on that 6'9" Negro? How is this man in a daggone Harry Potter wizard hat snatching y'all and hat ain't come up? Weak behavior.
That hat ain't go nowhere.
Weak behavior, baby. That's weak behavior. And dude goes on a thing the next day being a super McLamington and talking about, oh, you know, this happened, that happened, and ain't nobody scared of Cam. And not, first of all, you're doing too much. It's giving like you're reaching for attention. Nobody knows you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody's Googling you after this week. Like, come on, tighten up. And at the end of the day, I would be embarrassed. I wouldn't even said nothing. This man drug you up a flight of steps and no hat was removed. You wasn't doing nothing. That's sad. But overall, even if it was, like, clearly this is why you bozos didn't make it to professional sports, because this is what happens. People trash talk. I'm talking about smack dab in your face. So you just look like a corny on a cob little peon that's hating on Cam. Go Cam.
Okay. Moochie, what do you got to say about this Cam situation?
I agree, because he was talking smack they got him talking smack on a video before the altercation happened. This dude, he's a cornball. He came after him. Okay. And I believe that they trying to clean it up now, and they're gonna try to do some legal actions. So that's why that person came forward. I think it's a crock. I think they set him up. This is why our people can't even go back to the hood to help certain people. You got to do it from afar and feed them with a long spoon.
Wow.
What did you got to say, Monique Nicole? Wow, boy, the folks, the ladies is really on Cam Newton's side on this one.
Yeah. The funniest thing to me was that his damn hat didn't go nowhere.
The man do got a lot of hair sticking through that hat. I mean, if you're gonna knock off Abe Lincoln's hat, you know, it's basically like a damn sweatband. It ain't coming off unless you yank it off. And if you 5'6", you ain't even tall enough to reach your arm up there and yank it off. So no, it ain't coming off.
So from the article that you read, it sounds like Cam made the first point of contact.
They are basically saying Cam was talking junk to one of the little brothers, and after the 7-on-7 was over with, one of the brothers wanted to go say, Cam, you and your junk talking won't right, and got in his face, and he's saying that Cam put his hands on him.
Okay, so Cam hit first, basically.
That's what they're saying.
I think that he should not have done that. If it's true that he swung first, grabbed first, pushed first, whatever, I think he should not have done that, because he's got a lot to lose.
Right.
They have nothing to lose. So to protect yourself, to protect your brand, to protect your children, he should have had more constraint and been able to walk away from that situation. Now, don't get me wrong. When you get up in my face, that's my personal space, and that is a threat. I understand that's also can be perceived as a threat. I get that, but he's Cam Newton. He should have walked away before it got physical.
Okay, so now it's my turn. And I've heard a lot of perspectives on this shit. I've heard a lot of perspectives. And I do tend to agree with the way some of these perspectives came out. So I'll just start out with what Monique just said about she felt like if the story is the way we're seeing it and hearing it, Cam should have walked away. And I feel like, Mo, that Cam did the very best he could to not escalate the situation because they did rush him. Even though it sounds like he incited the situation.
Mm-hmm.
They did rush him, and Cam could have, with all his 6'6" force, took them dudes out because he slung one of them to the fence. He had one in a headlock, and then a third one ran up, and he kept him off of him. He did. Cam did all that. Cam could have took this thing to. He could have knocked out all three of them bozos, if you want to call them bozos. He could have knocked out all three of them. Now, this is where the problem comes in for me with Cam. I've heard sports analysts, I've heard Lex and Moochie just both make the same point, that when some of us blow up and we try to come back and give to our communities, we have issues, right? It's like we don't know how to act. Okay. Now y'all stay with me because I'm gonna make a point. I heard other professional athletes, my Uncle Shannon and Chad Johnson included, talking about how you never see this type of stuff with the white camps. But you've seen this happen at Cam Newton's camp over and over again. Now, the first thing I said to myself was, okay, well, white people, if it happens to certain white people camps, they're probably going to try to hide the video. They're probably not going to let the video get out, whatever. All right. And I also thought about this too. This behavior is exactly what white people love to use to say, look at them black folks. Look at them. They're savages. They're beasts and all that bull jive. Now, we know you can't use that shit because look at how y'all react to President Trump. Okay. So don't even stop that shit. Okay. We don't even want to hear that no more. But however, if you was going to run with that narrative, why don't we talk about if Shannon and these other sportscasters are saying this is not happening in nobody else's camp, but it continues to happen in Cam, I am inclined to believe that Cam has nurtured this atmosphere where you let trash talking go too far into having these dudes think they can legitimately talk trash to you and get in your face and do this type of shit. That's what I think. When I hear this, that's what I think. And if you are catering a camp that allows for that kind of behavior, you can't get mad when this happens. If I was holding a camp and I was talking junk, there's going to be rules around that bull jive. At the very least, in a football game, when you talking junk and it gets too heated, you got referees to separate it. In this right here, you ain't got nobody to separate it. So you need to set a culture. You, the person with the money, the person holding the thing, you need to set a culture where, okay, if you're going to talk junk, it needs to stop here. And if you're going to take it too high, we're going to take your ass out and you ain't coming back. But because they have said this has happened in Cam's camp over and over and over again, I got to believe that Cam is allowing this behavior to be the culture. He's allowing that to happen. So at the end of the day, people have tried to say our kids are disrespectful and all that. I always tell people, folks are only going to do to you what you allow them to do. Period. And if Cam has allowed fighting and stuff to continuously keep happening, he's allowing that to happen. So instead of trying to put the onus on parents and other people to behave a certain way, the same way that we do with police, when we see police brutality and white people be trying to say, well, you guys need to behave better around the damn cop. No, the cop is the professional. Cam is the professional. Set a better standard for this event, Cam, and maybe you'll get better outcomes. That's how I feel. Y'all disagree with me, let me know.
No, you bring up a good point. I was not aware that there was a history of bad behavior or drama surrounding his camp that he has. But if that's true, then there does need to be some changes done as far as the infrastructure of the camp and just the rules, the regulations, the guidelines, the protocols. Someone in there needs to be a proper evaluation of that, and it needs to be more professional. It needs to be more strict. and it needs to, fall in line with proper protocols so that this type of thing does not happen. I mean, this is really, really, really inappropriate. Like really,
Definitely.
really inappropriate.
Yep.
So
I didn't know about the history, Lamont, but I figure I figure you would know because that's your area. So, like, aren't they in North Carolina where this happened?
No, it was Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
Oh,
yeah.
But Moochie and Moochie, Lex, and Nicole, having said that, it still don't make them people right either.
No.
Because I'm looking at some comments where it's like people are trying to get a quick come up. I 100% agree with that.
Yep.
But then that leads back to the problem that we have in our community, which is fucking resources. It leads to that problem. We don't get the divvy of resources we need, and we can't expect one celebrity to pop up and be the savior of our issues. Granted, his 7-on-7 is there to help position people to get to, at the end of the day, better resources, sports, to escalate their career. We need more than Cam doing this shit. Because at the end of the day, the ones who came for a come up that came for him, if they was already up, they wouldn't have done that. And I'm not saying that that's Cam's fault. The only thing that's Cam's fault is setting the tone and the culture. But if we as a community had more resources, we wouldn't have to be always relying on our people that made it to come back and try to help us. And I even heard somebody I dislike say, save us. I mean, so again, I blame the features that happened with this incident, but in the bigger scheme of what's going on when it comes to people wanting more resources or come up or financial stability, we've got a bigger problem, which is we need greater access to resources so that we can do what we want to do in life. Lex, you can finish.
Yeah, I think that also sometimes it's even bigger than that. A lot of people sometimes have that, well, why not me? Because I was better attitude. Well, why he make it to the league? I was better than him. And that's the energy the guy gave off at first. Like, he ain't better than me. Well, clearly he is, because millionaire Sherm. So a lot of people sometimes get into it's a jealousy type thing where they feel like they got a point to prove, or, oh, I went to school with him and I used to do this back in it. Listen, you got to let all of that go. Who are you now? Nobody? Fix it. A lot of that comes, I feel like, full circle in a lot of situations where people go out to start a lot of crap. But Cam can handle himself, but he not no gangster dude in the sense of ain't nobody pulling up the Uncle Snoop camp doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
that's
not
what
pulling
I'm
up the Uncle Snoop camp doing that. But then again, in that same breath, look at the two different people. Who's testing Snoop? You know what I'm saying? It's a respect type of thing. So, like I said, Cam hasn't been retired that long. So if he's still talking crap and stuff, it's a different type of game. So I just feel like sometimes people need to stop looking for the hood savior and save yourself, because it's situations like this. Do for yourself. Stop depending on people, because if don't nobody want to come back to their hood, and they don't have to, because I'm gonna keep it a stack. If it was me, love my city, I'll donate to my city. You feel what I'm saying? Do little things, but you're not about to have me pull up to my city hey, for what? I don't have to. I don't owe y'all nothing. Just like y'all didn't owe me nothing. You didn't owe me support. You didn't owe me streams. I don't owe you anything. And as much as it's sad to say sometimes in the Black community, because we are so deprived and because our history has been not receiving what we need, like you said, there's this attitude oh, we went to school together. Oh, you from my city. Life don't work like that, boo-boo. Fold your hand, go to the drawing board, and go figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with that, but we still need the underroots of all that is access to resources. And I even hate to use the term resources, because at the end of the day, it's money. Fuckers will tell, oh Lord, here I go. People say resources, and all that is just another amalgamation of I'm gonna help you, but I ain't gonna give you no money. At the end of the day, people need money.
Yeah.
Help people help themselves by making a decent living.
Very
do
true.
that.
Very
do
true.
that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us get to the last story of the day, which I know Moochie, boy, I can see Moochie face right now. Even though we can't see the hammer face, I can see her face. Donnell Rollins talked about that fuck boy shit that go on in Hollywood in terms of putting on say yes to the dress. If you say no to the dress, it can mess you up. But if you say yes to the dress, you could be Tyler Perry. Take a look.
Wow.
Just take a look at this video. I'm just quoting what was said. Take a look at this video.
They make you wear a dress. First off, a nigga can't make a nigga wear a dress. You choose to wear it if you want. Right. And then if you want to do that Marlon Wayans, it's a situation you're going to lose if you talk about it. Because the narrative is like, I'm not saying I would wear a dress. I've been in situations where motherfuckers try to get me to do something outside of how I felt, and I bounced.
Was it the dress?
It wasn't a dress. It was booty shorts. Same thing. It was this show on Comedy Central. They had this one scene, White Boy Human, because they love all that shit. They love all the white boys love all the frat boy shit, nuts and balls. They love that shit. Son. They can't do that. Yo, then the nuts was like, that's gonna rip. Oh my God, that's so fucking funny, Darnell. Right? They love that shit. It was a scene where they said that they said, all right, you lose this challenge rep and you gotta wear booty shorts. I said, I don't fuck with no booty shorts. Right? They was like, they walked away, right? The young lady, bitch queen, whatever you say, comes back bitch queen. And she say, well, the producers want to let you know that if you decide not to do this part of the challenge, it could dramatically affect your continuation with this show. I said, well, tell them this is my last day. You ain't gotta, you have an option to turn it down or not. And then
but if you'd have worn the booty shorts.
What? I would have played myself.
But would you be like
further ahead in your career?
Kevin Hart right now?
Now why? See, now here's the thing. Why you asked me about the booty short and I said I wasn't gonna wear them.
Right.
You should have asked me if. You should be like, my nigga, you ain't wear them. Now you wear them. Now you want to see how far I would have took it. You trying to put me in a dress, nigga. You trying to put me in a dress on the low. Yes, you did. You trying to put me in a dress. No dresses, no booty shorts. None of that.
So how do you feel when you see
then wait,
your
you
peers?
say Kevin Hart. My peers, look, I put it like this, especially when it comes to comedy. I'm not saying I would do it, whatever. I just think that's comedy. I don't think it's a representation of who you are, of your character, anything. If you want to take it like that far, one of the greatest motherfuckers that was one of the baddest black motherfuckers that owned the rights to his show and everything. Flip Wilson, Geraldine, right. You know, Mrs. Doubtfire, so whatever. So that's just some shit we want to put out there. And it's easier for us to be able to talk shit about that.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you another motherfucking thing about the dress. I did Wild 'N Out 2 years ago, right?
Right.
Tyler Perry Studios, right? You ever been to Tyler Perry Studios? No. Let me tell you something. Anybody, if you go there, it's Fort Knox. It used to be an old military base. There's no way, as a black person, going through those gates, you will not feel what a come up is and what makes it is. You go through that motherfucking gate, you went through the gate, got these big ass projection screens and shit, right? Then you go down, you driving 2 miles before you make a right. When you make a right, you know you're making a right on, you see a studio, Harry Belafonte studio, Oprah Winfrey studio, all the biggest black entertainers in there, all of this. And then I'm going through the gates, made a right, Harry Belafonte studio, Oprah Winfrey. And I look back at the gate, I was like, from a dress?
So you might wear it.
You gonna stop, son. You gonna stop, son. You gonna stop. I can feel it. No, I'm not saying that. But the point I'm making is, the point I'm making. Nah, this. Yo, I'm about to get some dress merch. Fuck the dress. The dress. And just have niggas burn the dress up. But no, when I said that,
right,
I'm saying like you can hate on it however you want. I said, but that motherfucking dress, look what it did. And niggas can come at me off of this shit. They be like, oh yeah, but
that's a different
Man,
situation.
fuck that dress shit.
It's a different situation.
Let me tell you something. Niggas need something to be mad about and be upset about.
So Monique, I'm gonna go to you, then I'll go to Lex, and Moochie get last word on this. So Monique, what do you got to say about the dress? You say yes to the dress?
So this, oh God, that was a lot. Okay, so this topic has been a well-known, controversial topic, right? In the Black community, in comedy, in Black entertainment.
Right.
how do I feel about the whole black men wearing a dress? I don't know. It's one of those things where I can see both sides. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if it's just with black men. I feel like Hollywood has an obsession with men in general, dressing like women and putting on dresses and doing things like that. I don't know. I will say this, I don't think it's fair to like resort Tyler Perry's like success to him just wearing a dress. Obviously, it was more than that. Anybody can put on a dress. It was, don't take away from all that he's done. It was way more than just him putting on a dress. But I mean, I guess, you know, whatever. He was trying to make a point. I don't know, guys. I don't know. The black men in a dress, like I said, it's been a conversation we've had for decades. You know what I mean? They've been doing it forever since In Living Color. I just think it's a personal preference, right? Some people can look at it as just simply comedy, and some people can take offense to it.
Well, I'm gonna blow your mind with this one because you hear now. I'm of the mindset of Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a damn price, even if you Jesus Christ, you got a damn price, and I would break this down like this because a lot of dudes in the hood is like, I'd never wear no damn dress, but you're out here selling dope. So I'll break it down to you like this, Monique Nicole. Which one would you rather see your black man do? Wear a dress in Hollywood to make millions or selling dope on the street illegally, risking their life every night to make millions? Which one would you rather see your man do?
Easily, a dress, entertainment. That's what I'm saying. Okay. It's all personal preference, right? One person can look at it as a piece of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Another person's going to take it more personally and try to overanalyze it and say they're trying to tear the black man down. It just depends on how you individually try to look at it.
And you know, I can agree with some of the terms of you emasculating the men and all that. But again, I just feel like everybody has a price. What is your price? You know, like technically, the dude who's selling drugs in the street, he's got a price. He could be working at McDonald's, but that's not his price. It's like, fuck that. And some of these comedians who are acting saw that they could get big dollars by cross-dressing, playing the role of, you know, I don't want to disrespect nobody in the trans community, a tranny or whatever. And however you say it correctly. So if I said it wrong, y'all know that. Don't charge it to my heart. I'm trying to do it right. But what is the price? So what do you think, Moochie?
I feel like with this, he's making sense with what he's saying, but I didn't like the fact that the guy kept going back to it, like trying to rope him in. I didn't like that. But I'm glad that he was like bobbing and weaving from those questions. But look, we seeing it. But why are they not making a big deal when the white guys do it? Tom Hanks and Tom Hanks, Milton Berle. I could go.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams. It's a lot of them. So this was both in the comedy genre. I want to say even what's it? Kirk Russell. He was in a dress in that movie Tango and Cash. Y'all remember that?
But that's why I said, Moochie, I think it's a Hollywood thing, not just
I think it's just, but I feel like it's more emphasized with the black men.
Yeah, because our community is still extremely polarized when it comes to the issues of LGBTQ, emasculation, and something that has been bubbling under the surface for a long time that has now been made to be in vogue under the dumbing down of knowledge since we've seen Trump is the divide between black men and educated black women who now control education. Having said that, and when I say control education, y'all, I mean more black women have more education, college education than men. That's what I mean.
I would say dominating.
Yeah, dominating college education. You get the last word, Lex. All on you. Do you say yes to the dress?
What I will say is I understand both sides. I understand how they can think that it's, demasculating to Black men and things like that. But just like Moochie said, our Caucasian counterparts have done it for years and have been lucrative about it. So it's kind of one of those situations where if they're forcing you in a sense of like, you can't get any other roles, I can understand that. But other than that, that's kind of a part of theater. Like, let's keep in mind that when you go back to the history of theater, women were not allowed to act. It was literally all white men playing all roles. So once again, this is where kind of history comes into play. Like this is the origination of the theater, men playing all roles. So like I said, if it's in a humiliating way, then I can understand the anger, but let's not act like Men in Dresses haven't brought us some of the greatest laughs ever. Big Mama's House, White Chicks. White Chicks is top 10 Black comedy.
Not even that.
I was getting to
Color.
those.
You have skits. You have like I said, I enjoyed all the Big Mama houses.
Yeah.
Less the one with Brandon T. Jackson. That was kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, don't make
the first two.
But definitely the first two. Martin, his whole entire dress. Let's not act like Medea ain't have us cracking up from the live ones to when they first start making the movies. So I mean,
and
like
Martin and Shanae, he really come on.
Okay. Shanae ain't no trick. Better get a grip.
And let us not act like it's just the dress, okay? Let us not act like y'all ain't enjoy Prince wearing blouses and bell bottoms and shit. Let us not forget
I like when he
too.
was wearing the pants with the booty out and he turned
Booty out.
Oh,
that ain't my
see, y'all. Let me get out of here before we get in trouble. Y'all be sure to like the video, share it with your friends. Moochie and the crew is going live tonight at 7 p.m. to really drill down into the nuts and the bolts of the Wendy Williams documentary. And then if you guys are somewhere around tomorrow, me and Monique Nicole is hooking up to talk about
Mia Cooper.
Yeah.
Cooper.
Yeah. It should be called Mia Cooper, but it's called Mia Cooper. That's what we're gonna call it. So I'll be dropping a video of us giving a review sometime tomorrow. So get ready for that. It guarantees to be fire and pull no damn punches, 100%. So don't forget to like the video. Send Lex the Targaryen a Cash App. That is her link. She's going on tour. And until we go live again, which will be Thursday at noon, we out.